Hi everyone, and welcome to 164 Diecast. In our 9th video, we are looking at the Hot Wheels Redline Club exclusive single release 1990 Chevy 454 SS. This highly detailed 1/64 scale car, released in June of 2025, is an exclusive to members of the Mattel Redline Club and could only be purchased online through the club. The sales price was $27. The car color is Spectraflame Teal on top with aqua, navy, and fuchsia graphics trim on the bottom, and is packaged on a blister card and was shipped in what Mattel calls a car keeper clamshell case. You can find current pricing for this car here. While the model car produced here is teal in color, the actual 1990 454 SS truck only came in black with a red interior. The car showcased here features an opening hood that reveals a detailed V8 engine and an operating tailgate. This model has real rider wheels and tires, and the Mattel product number is JCP12. The Hot Wheels Redline Club at creations.mattel.com says this about the casting. Throw it back to the 1990s with one of the first ever muscle trucks, the Chevrolet 454 SS. With an opening hood and tailgate, our big block beauty is quite simply the bomb. Its fresh Spectraflame Teal paint job with aqua, navy, and fuchsia graphics create a look so awesome that not even your nicest fanny pack can contain it. Put your wide leg jeans on and get ready to race. The 1990 Chevrolet 454 SS is a muscle truck legend. It was a significant vehicle that helped kick off the muscle truck era. It was all about brute force and bold, aggressive looks. Powered by the legendary 454 cubic inch, 7.4 liter Mark IV big block V8 engine, Chevrolet essentially took an engine typically used in its heavy-duty trucks and put it into a lighter, short bed, regular cab C1500. It produced a respectable 230 horsepower and 385 pound-feet of torque. This high torque rating is what gave the truck its famous tire shredding capability. The Chevy 454 SS had more ponies than the IROC Z and even more torque than the Corvette ZR1 of the time. With a 3-speed automatic transmission and a 3.73 rear differential gear, it could go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 8 seconds. This was a very quick time for a full-size truck of that era. The 1990 model was only available in onyx black paint and featured a sport appearance package, including a distinct blacked-out grille with a red Chevy bow tie emblem, a front splitter, and a 454 SS decal on either side of the cargo box. It rode on 6-slot, 15-inch chrome wheels wrapped in beefy BF Goodrich raised white leather tires. To set it apart, the interior featured garnet red cloth upholstery with high back bucket seats and a center console. The 454 SS was more than just a big engine. It included a performance handling package to try and improve the truck's dynamics, which featured a heavy-duty radiator and separate coolers for the engine oil and transmission fluid. It included Bilstein shock absorbers and a heavy front anti-roll bar and used a quick ratio steering system. The 454 SS was a limited production vehicle, produced for only 4 years from 1990 to 1993. The 1990 model is particularly notable because it was the first year, and it had a slightly different setup with a 3-speed automatic and 3.73 gears, compared to the 1991 to 1993 models. The 91 to 93 models saw a bump in power to 255 horsepower and an upgrade to a 4-speed automatic transmission and 410 gears. It occupies a notable niche as the archetypical factory big block street truck, relying on raw displacement and torque. It was the forerunner to the Ford F-150 Lightning and the contemporary of the GMC Syclone. You can read more about the 1990 Chevy 454 SS at www.motortrend.com and at www.topspeed.com. The 1990 Chevy 454 Supersport ushered in the era of the high-performance truck and set the stage for other high-powered trucks that redefined pickups from cargo-carrying machines to racing thoroughbreds. I hope you enjoyed our nostalgic look at the 1990 Chevy 454 SS, and, as always, thank you for stopping by 164 Diecast, and we will see you on the next video.